Does angry screaming involved?
I can put in earplugs, so I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But yes, my lovely dears, we are back, wherein you have undertaken a mission whose relevancy only really cropped up after a number of people's mysterious non-appearance to the Prince's Awakening, or more specifically, they just didn't respond to the invite, which is that's beyond rude. Saying you can't make it and saying why is generally considered acceptable, unless it's like an obvious fucking fluff off, in which case it could also be an insult. But
I'm on the
not
other side of
responding
the
at all
world.
is
Acceptable.
yeah, not responding at all is what we would consider to be, if not an outright insult, but to be something uh, indicating that they have actually just gone AWOL instead.
And for one of them, it's already proven accurate.
Indeed. It would indeed turn out that the reason one of your targets did not arrive is because he was too busy being dismembered. Which, very rude of him, but such as it is.
Busy being super dead, which is only slightly more dead.
Indeed. We have here our big ol' handout that keeps all this information. Esteban was seen 3 days at the Elysium before the Prince's Awakening, a smart individual who appears to be in his 50s, and he was pleasant and polite. However, his corpse had been discovered, supposedly his corpse at least. His torso was smashed into 4 pieces and added to 4 camping bonfires, which each contained a limb. His severed head was left on the bed with a mouthful of his own ashes. There was a 7 on the wall and written with vitae and ash. And there was a power cut at some point when this occurred. If the time of the power cut is discerned, the time of the crime might be figured out. There was a cleaned revolver, and 1 cartridge is missing its bullet. And Ailish McCavity, the wheelchair-bound Invictus Thorn, has been sent evidence of the wound and death site, along with a request for information. At the same time, you have information about Cotton Eye, who has no reason to be missing, and by all accounts doesn't have anything weird about him. Jacques the Blind is a Botticelli who lives in the sewers under the Poor District. The best place to get information about Jacques is from the Crones, however, since they're really the only ones who one-to-one their contact with the sewers. Chef, a blood delivery individual, last appeared a month ago to make his delivery and is currently considered to be late for that delivery. He dealt with, or at least supposedly dealt with, just standard blood stock. And the Moratrophian elder, Terina, apparently was regarded as having scared the shit out of one of Esteban's ghouls at a party a while back before either of them were regarded to have gone missing. That's what you know. When last we left off, after you had run away from the cops outside Esteban's place, made your way on to Chef's last known locale.
There is one thing, sort of slipped my mind at the time. When I was calling the cleaners to get, like, them to put surveillance on the other places in case the murders are still actively happening, I would have probably also told them to try to, make the police not poke at Esteban's place for too long. Because, yeah.
Yeah, very obvious.
Because the last thing a cops like is dealing with a cold case.
I get it. Cold case.
Yep.
Corpses.
I'm just making sure that the note about cleaners is recorded as well. Not numbered list, bulleted list.
So, what's the next plan?
To head to Chef's place. I'm just making sure that everything is kept up to date as we go along.
Oh, please tell me he's a jolly fat black guy.
Yes.
I already made that joke, and yes, he is. It was required by law.
With chocolate salty balls?
Yes.
Is his nickname Cookie?
And we may not need to go that far.
It's too bad he didn't like the show.
Yep.
Well, the voice actor who played Chef was a Scientologist, and when he caught wind of that episode, he wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure it put his Zetans all out of whack, whatever the fuck it was.
Thetans.
Thetans, sure. Whatever.
I still love how they had to do a disclaimer on that episode saying this is 100% the shit they believe in.
Yep. I kinda wanna watch it again now. Oh well.
We're sorry, we're trying not to offend anybody, but this is what they believe house is.
I wonder if Cotton Eye's still alive, I wonder if I can hit him up for a copy of the Canterbury Tales.
Anyway, moving on.
No.
Via your respective modes of transportation, you make it to the home that supposedly belongs to Chef. It is by this point, I believe, approaching midnight. On January the 5th. What do you do? Cleaners have already been notified, and they are essentially en route to help try and secure this location and make sure you aren't interrupted a second time. At the same time, they're going to try and deal with the whole cop presence.
My black senses are not telling me there is yet another band of cops around the corner.
Ride on the back of my old man bike.
No, I realized...
You're on a fixie.
I was on Rose's bike. Fuck with both of you.
Yeah,
No,
no.
if you ride on the back of the old man bike, the cops won't bother you.
Oh no,
It'll be
they're
like
gonna
an
make
EP
some.
thing.
They're gonna make some really creepy assumptions if it's a very very old looking dude.
A
Okay.
really, really old white man and a young black. Oh god.
Anyway,
So
Yes.
it's spacey all over again.
Yes.
what does Chef's house look like?
Yeah. Okay. One at a time.
Chef's
Just. Chef's house looks like, unlike the rather nice semi-detached living space of Esteban, Chef's home is, how to put it, like, imagine an apartment block, except, like, multiples of the first floor, the ground floor, whatever the fuck you want to call it, have been made into, like, one room, but there's still, like, access stairs to take you to other apartments, so it's about as nice as you can get on the edge of the poor district, if you aren't, like, literally in a business building.
So it's like the lower middle class.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like, it's obvious that people probably live above them, or at the very least there are places for people to live above them, whether they're occupied or not is another matter. But his is supposedly the, the first apartment here, and it takes up the entirety of the first floor / ground floor. And then Claire is going to use beast hackles on approaching this place. Before you do that, how far away from this apartment are you going to be when you activate these beast hackles?
What are beast hackles, by the way?
Beast hackles is an ability that Claire has that essentially allows you to ping your danger radar and ask a question of me in regards to, like, you can ask things like, is there anything here that wishes us harm? Or is there something here that appears to be what it isn't?
Stranger danger.
Can anyone do that, or is that just Claire?
It is a discipline. Or specs discipline, yes. Anyone can learn it, and you can roll against types of obfuscation with it, but that becomes a roll-off. But like normal obfuscation, like facing the crowd, like, although until you activate beast hackles, you might not know someone's facing in the crowd. If you then activated it and anyone had anything close to an ill intent, either directly or indirectly, you'd get a roll-off against them.
Oh my god. So assassins would have to learn to hide their killing intent. So
Well, I mean, the really good fucking obfuscation powers are so many dots that it's very unlikely that a Beast Hackles is going to breach you unless they already have like a shit ton of other Auspexy powers, so it's kind of moot.
It's moo. It's like a cow's opinion. It's moo.
Yes, it's moo.
Moot.
Oh, it's moo.
Naz was immediately on that as well. And dropping them chat moves. But yeah. Does anything happen before you get to the building to use your abilities? Let's see here. Why don't you roll me a d10? We all know how good and fun d10s are. That's a d19. I do approve, though, of your gumption. Sadly, you get over a 10, which means super double bad luck. No, okay. A 3. Yeah, no. Nothing happens as you reach the building to use your abilities. Would you like to do your hackly hackle roll, please? Alright. What is your question? Is it the classic, is there anything here that means me harm? Yeah, okay, cool. When you reach out with your senses, you feel emptiness, loneliness, pervasive fear. Pervasive fear. Do not sense things that want you harm. Cool. You are informed of this by Claire as you're at the entrance to Chef's home.
place feels like fear.
Emptiness and fear.
Probably gonna have to start busting pretty soon. Rose?
Would you guys like to try your looking at things rolls? There might be something more you can perceive out of this.
Yeah.
It definitely is something pinging off of Claire's. Claire's wits composure is the standard. If you have any abilities that would improve your ability to, I don't know, be a trained observer, then that would be a good time.
Yeah, try using your eye holes for once.
Or the thrunts. Your spatial eye. Oh my god, it's just a wall of successes. Fucking hell. And a critical success. Dramatic success from Rose.
Tell me, do you think we can get a suit for DCL?
I have one.
He has a really nice suit, actually. You wore it at the party, but
He's also got really nice into leather pants.
he does have very nice tight leather pants.
If we just have an entire crew in suits just walking up on someone that's going to get really uncomfortable.
Not in a suit. Fuck you.
She's in
No,
Viking
just
leathers.
Yeah.
The suit crew.
No, you should all just dress up in leathers instead. Just start looking like a bondage party. I approve of this way more.
It'd be the 90s all over again.
No, I said leather, not denim.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Early thousands, I think.
The Aughties had the leather resurgence, sure.
You could also argue 80s.
Yeah, leather had it, so well, that's why it was a resurgence in the Aughties. It happened in the 80s. But yeah, no, 90s is denim as fuck.
Yeah.
when you join the Invictus, you get immediately fitted for a suit. Yeah, 100%. Indeed, even though DCL is not a suit wearer, in his observations file that was handed off to him from Hedra, it had his suit fittings in it. It was literally in the package.
I work in a suit. It's what the job requires. I got a suit.
Yep.
When you join the Carthian movement, you get your choice of a leather jacket, a trench coat, or a katana.
You also get a vaping pen and your own Kindle subscription to indie newspapers.
No, whoa. We aren't
Not
hipsters.
No, it's just that vaping is cool. It goes with a trench coat. I mean, they're all stylistically designed so it looks like you're smoking cigarettes or pipes.
So what do we see with our wall of
Well,
success?
okay, yes, with this wall of successes, I'm gonna just jump ahead to Rose's. Although all of you see very much the same thing, which is evidence that no one is here at all. Rose, your attention isn't 100% on just the building as you're looking from point to point. I mean, there is a Gandalf vape pipe. I do believe Keena's roomie got one. Yes, you notice that there is evidence of like little oil stains, like on the edge of the street where a car had obviously been quite recently. As you go and look over there, you can see perhaps something might have fallen into the gutter right by where this oil slick is. Like there's just a glint of something shiny that's being captured by lamplight.
All right, I'll take a look in there and say, I swear to fucking God, if there are any clowns.
You see a
I'm
red
out.
balloon. Yeah. Oh my god, I wish.
Hey kid, you want to buy some drugs?
Dude,
Stab it.
it's so good. You just a red balloon coming out of a gutter in fucking World of Darkness' setting. I mean, that could be any number of monsters that just wants to be the spirit of fear.
Look, are you
Stab it in
look?
the
Are you
face.
kidding me? I'm pretty sure it would actually be pretty terrified by this group. Wait, no.
No,
No.
it is like the personification of evil. It wouldn't give a shit about a couple vampires.
Especially
They
since
get
you're...
killed by a turtle.
I was about to say, remembering how this thing was defeated, I'm pretty sure a couple of vampires could equally handle it.
We do not have the innocence of youth.
I could honestly believe that it would just be like an elder Nosferatu, just like an OG one.
What, an
But
an
again,
OG
it's-
Nazi? Maybe.
It's like the personification of evil, and the turtle thing was at least the personification of good. So
Honestly,
Those sound
it
tracks.
would be more like a stylistic edit of The Mummy, wherein it's powerful and then it has to sleep.
yeah.
Like, that would make sense with the It cycle. But anyway. Yeah, you notice that there is something shining in the gutter. It's, well, I suppose less a gutter and indeed more like a storm drain. Try not to get too far with the It analogy, but it does have that very similar look if you try to imagine the layout of this street in the Poor District. But there was definitely a car here. Hard to say when, but there's like that typical stain of just there having been a car there quite regularly, if not for a long period of time, just very often, so there's an oil slick there.
Huh.
How are you going rummaging in that gutter?
Who wants to go? Who wants to jump down into this storm drain?
Do you think a storm drain scares me?
After you.
Have you ever seen the rivers of Venice?
The what?
Oh god, he should see the rivers of Venice now. You're in for a fucking disappointment. It hasn't gotten any cleaner.
No, but are you aware of just how many fucking bodies are in the bottom of that thing?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, as I say, it has not gotten any cleaner.
Sure, Gideon stoops down, takes a look.
Claire informs you that, yeah, no thank you. I don't really want to think about how much Aurora spent on this dress. The answer is a lot.
Go
And yeah, okay,
ahead and climb
Gideon.
in.
You're a Nazi and you're... If I'm rightly, you're quite lithe and svelte, all things considered, yes?
Yeah, actually.
Yep, cool. It takes a barest wiggle, but you can haul yourself down into the storm drain.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see here. It didn't rain in New Year's. Did it rain any time this day? Roll me a d10. If you get a 1, it definitely has rained and is going to make your life a little bit harder down there. Okay, no. So it hasn't rained for a little bit, so the storm drain itself is, like, there's a little splash when you land down in it, but it's not too bad. But yeah, a random point of question that came up in the chat. What is your weapon of choice?
His weapon of choice?
Yeah. If Gideon had to throw down.
Well, it was not. Well, it was a sword, but I suppose currently it just would be using his bare hands at the moment.
Your weapon of choice would be the sword.
My weapon of choice is Fatboy Slim.
That's
Well, I suppose if anything, what the hell you call it? The Basket Hill broadsword? What's
classy.
the preference?
Although in Italy that would be the Schiavona, wouldn't
Thank you.
it?
Unfortunately, the names of Italian swords isn't exactly my number one forte.
You're
That's
El
good.
Fuerte. Wait, no, that's Spanish. Never mind. What a beaut. Oh, that's very nice. Okay. We just pull out a fucking halberd as his night weapon. It's my stand, the halberd power.
Shh.
Have a leave in the group. You can't start talking about
And
Joe.
You can't start doing JoJo jokes
but
around
my
here.
Stand, Holy Roman Emperor.
Oh, jeez. Okay. You are down in the storm drain. You were informed that there was a glinting that occurred. Your landing down in the water has made a little bit of a splash, and you can probably hear like a scraping noise. It does sound a little bit like metal, but you know, because of that prior dramatic success from Rose, you hear something too as well. When Gideon's feet splashed down the water, there was another set of footprints. There is no more sound now, but you swear you heard more than like his sets of footprints landing down in that puddle. Which makes no sense.
Isn't there a thing where I can kind of extend my senses, right?
Wait. So I heard somebody else's feet land in there too?
That's what it sounded like. It sounded like more feet splashing down than just Gideon's. But you didn't see anyone else do so, and there was no space for anyone but him to land down the water. So it would have to be someone who was already in there, perhaps, but that likewise makes no sense. Gideon didn't bump into anyone.
I'm gonna whisper to DCL, hey, can you see anybody that's invisible?
Can I see anybody? I only have obfuscate, but I don't have anything to
Oh,
detect.
no. That would be Claire, you'd have to ask. She's the only one who
Can you see
can.
any smudges of white?
Hey, Claire! Claire, can you see anybody that's invisible? I think there's somebody invisible right here. My ears. I hear things.
Do I have any way to clash with invisibility?
Unless you have uncanny perception, not naturally, if that is the actual case. You don't... It's you did not hear the sound. I mean, you splashed down in the water and that was that. There was a scraping of something metal, like, right by your feet.
Can I...
No suspicion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, uncanny perception. I think that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Do you have uncanny perception as well?
I don't know.
It would be a thing that you picked. I don't believe you did. Let's see here. Both indomitable. You've got investigator. No, you did not. It's Auspex.
My bad.
You are a nightmare, obfuscate, protein, resilience, and vigor.
Oh, man, did you have to tell my head protein? I was holding this.
It's the apocalypse once more.
I assume Flare is going to flare her sense.
That's right. Beast Tackle says .1 Auspex. Uncanny was 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can give an uncanny perception a go. At the same time, Gideon, are you going to be reaching down to grab the whatever it was?
Sure, yeah.
Modifiers, -1, because you don't have a very easy way to... There's someone currently moving around in that storm drain who you do know is there. Which does not make picking anyone out.
I think I remember what I was talking about. Vampires are really good at smelling blood and hearing heartbeats, right?
Correct.
Do I sense any of that shenanigans or anything like that, or?
You don't, like, not by default at the very least, but Claire, on the other hand, when you reach out with that, you don't, it's not like you sense anyone who's invisible, but like there's this itching sensation that someone's just very immediately gotten the fuck out of dodge, and they did so with an unnatural speed. As opposed to a splash down of feet that Rose heard, it might very well have been the splash of feet leaving the water, like a very quick jump, but you don't know where to or how possible. The storm drain is not exactly what one would consider high up. It's quite a cramped space.
Do I see any smudges of white makeup?
You don't. What you do find when you reach down and go for a quick rummage appears to be a key. It looks like a key that's snapped off in a lock somewhere. You don't know what it belongs to, however.
I look out at the group from the storm drain. Hey, guess what's down here?
Do you wanna see a key? I got a key down here.
That's a nice boat you have.
It's a nice boat you have, Billy.
I guess I'll kind of poke my
You
head.
don't want a red balloon.
What have you found?
It appears to be a key.
Key down the storage drain? Like a normal house key or one of those classical hard lock?
Good question.
It's probably not something that our resident man out of time would know. Tell you what, who would know? It's a fucking locksmith. If you want to hand that one off to
pass
Red.
that shit over here.
So I pass it up, and I'm just gonna go for a walk in the storm drains.
Okay. What direction are you
I
going?
don't think storm drains lead anywhere.
They don't really know.
I'm just trying to see if there's any way that someone could have gone somewhere.
Sure. Give me a wits composure, I guess, at -1.
Yeah, I think storm drains are just like one little area with pipes leading one way or the other. Usually. Well, San Posado's different.
That's what Google tells me.
Okay then. While you're looking at that, Gidgeon, when you're looking around for evidence of something, the storm drain itself is not especially large. Indeed, it's a storm drain, and that tends to connect to like normal pipes that, you know, just either go through the sewer system or dump themselves out to like just other places. You happen to be particularly, well, I say near, you're a couple miles away from a river. It probably does lead by its own means back to the river, a series of small pipes that tend to collect storm drain runoff. As such, it's like stagnant water that only rises an inch or two. When you're looking around, though, you can see something. It looks like a note that's been written in wax paper.
I go over and look.
What languages does Gidgeon know?
English, German, Latin.
Oh, you do know German. Okay, it is written in German.
Oh. Though I imagine his English classes are more of a thing in practice.
Draconic and Elvish, we're not playing fantasy games. Yeah, do you speak Abyssal at all? You do, you speak Latin. Hey-o. Ow! Fuck me, that's loud. So, how?
It wasn't.
Whew. Yes. It's one of those games, yes. It essentially says, the killers were here, step softly.
Oh dear. Children, this is getting more complicated.
What's up? What'd you find?
Okay, so they're gonna watch the creepy old man ooze his way out of a storm drain. And when he comes up, he's going to show them the wax paper and tell them what it says.
I was about to say, I don't speak German. Timothy, will you know any vampires that speak German?
There would be Germanic bloodlines.
Yes. It is not an entirely uncommon language.
Tell you what.
At one time, it was the language of strong nobility.
Can you give me an intelligence politics roll with -1, please, Timothy?
Yeah, I'd avoid calling German strong nobility anymore, buddy. Lots happened.
I mean, there was
Scout.
the Nazis.
I'm aware of your Hitler.
It's not our Hitler, man.
It's not our it's not our Hitler.
I wonder if we're dealing with Nazi vampires.
Oh my god, I wish I'd fucking thought of Nazi vampires before this was already written.
Funny thing, there is a German vampire bloodline that was strongly in support of the Nazis. They were the blood alchemists.
But I was saying that in character to everybody.
There's also a hunter compact that is the remnants of
Yeah, the Brotherhood of Thule, I think it's called.
yeah.
Exactly like Kel was saying.
But they distanced themselves from the what the Nazis did, and they're trying to make make a better name for themselves.
Yeah, they saw that what they did with the Nazis was a bad thing, so they're going to dedicate the rest of their life and the rest of their grandchildren's life to fixing that mistake.
Timothy got 5 successes.
Okay, so guys, yes, Timothy muddles over this, and call it a random shot in the dark, but you know that the second in command of Jacques the Blind is a particularly small German woman.
Do you remember her name?
Mercy. Oh my god, I should then get a mercy
No.
token after all of this, but no, she isn't
She's
German.
Swiss.
She is Swiss.
Does Timothy know the name? Or do they only recall the person?
Do I, Scout?
Yes, you know them as Amelia.
Hmm.
You're not Brunhilde.
Amelia Bedelia?
A small German girl named Amelia sounds adorable. Why do I feel like...
It could be Amelia. She is Jacques' second.
Spelling of it.
Alright.
And if he's been targeted, then it would... that would make sense for her to have her interest drawn.
I'm gonna look around us and say, Amelia, we're good guys.
Do not let them
Try
know.
to figure out what happened. You could come out and talk to us if you're still here.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Well, if they're already here, I mean...
We may be being watched.
That's... well...
He means by somebody other than Amelia.
Yeah,
Essentially
well...
the killer. That's only assuming that Amelia is on our side. If Amelia is even involved.
Well, Amelia, if you're worried about being watched, find us after this.
Look, we probably need to go inside. If we go off what the note says, the killer's not here anymore.
Yeah, no, Claire will speak up and say, she's left, I don't sense her here anymore. There was someone here, but they left very quickly.
Yeah, I remember Claire. I was... probably need to get inside and do a quick investigation and figure out what we can find about Jacques.
You search the premises for Chef. I'm gonna start biking towards the...
I will be right back.
No, her surname was probably Weber.
Weber?
As in Weaver. One of the most common German surnames.
You can investigate here if you wish. I will try to make my way towards Jacques.
Hold on. If we're splitting the party, I'm coming with you.
Yes, it would be unwise to go alone.
I still say we should get a quick sweep of the place before anybody heads anywhere, just to try to get some extra context if we can. Might be a
Yes.
clue or something that we might need inside.
Random point of order. Rose has, a broken key that she could probably identify.
But Third said be right back, so.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I
So
was wondering
you'll
why
have
there
to
was
you'll have to wait on her return.
check the key, break inside, and we can split up while they do a more detailed investigation to try to find Jocks. We just
He's
need a
busy
quick
drawing
fight.
titties.
Hey.
Try not to make the joke.
I'm
Also,
sorry.
it's racist because you're calling the black guy the dog.
Yeah, but everyone
Look,
knows you're my
DCL,
dog.
you can't-
DCL, you're my
DCL.
dog, really, right?
DCL, it is more racist just to whip out the blackness card every chance you get.
No, it's not. I'm black. It can't be racist.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but sure. But let's face it, DCL, you're my dog, really. You can't see it, but I'm putting up a fist for fist bumping.
I was when you said dog, really, I'm like, are you paying for my food?
Well, someone's paying for food.
I'm sure someone is. I would do if I had that money to do it. Like I have been in economic times of need, likewise so have you. When one of us makes it, one of us is gonna have to buy a big old fucking commish off the other.
But
I'll get there, hopefully. And I'm gonna make you do like a fucking book's worth of those adorable minis.
Dude, I have an idea. You should make a coloring book. In the mini style.
Honestly, that would be pretty cool.
I wouldn't know how I do that since the minis don't have
Dude.
outline.
Dude, just do the mini style but lines.
Surely, if tell you what, if you do them in paintbrush, but you do because they have edges at the very least. You could just paintbrush the edges and then do a line over them.
I mean, yeah, the picture changes quite a bit the minute you add lines.
It
Like,
does.
lines are something which completely change the feeling of the picture.
True, although I suppose if the lines, quote unquote, were in fact paintbrushes, but coloured as to what the colour is supposed to be, that would be pretty cool, actually. Because then people who take this colouring could, with their tablet, snatch up the colours and put them in themselves or change things or add effects.
That is the thing. Are there, like, tablet coloring books?
Not for tablet ones, I don't. Well, there might be, for all I know, but I've never seen one.
Dude, that'd be a pretty good idea.
Yep.
DCL, corner that shit.
See, I'm gonna say no. And that way, when somebody actually does and makes millions off it,
You can be salty.
You guys could have been like, I fucking told you.
DCL would be a bigger pillar of salt than the lot at the destruction of Gomorrah.
Lot's wife, you mean?
Yes, thank you.
I'll show Lot's wife my pillar of salt.
And while I'll just stand there with my burning bush and be perfectly happy.
Oh, you should get that checked out.
The fuck did third go? I'm about to just.
I mean, you guys can start going through the room. Indeed, we can scroll back in time to Rosa's bit. It won't totally fuck with stuff if you get the reveal later. So yeah, would you like to inspect Chef's home?
Yeah, let's fucking break into the bitch.
Slam dunking puppies in the Borknet. Yeah.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam.
Alright, so let's start inspecting the house.
Yep. Well, again, house is a stretch. It's an apartment block. He just happens to have the entire first floor to himself.
Okay. Well, let's break into the first floor then.
Sure, I would make a check, but Rose is frankly able to unlock any lock, so I can't be asked. You're able to gain entry.
Alright. Let's do a quick scan real quick. What do we see cursor? It's like looking around and
You could do a wits investigation, but from the very, very outset, you smell blood, like shit fucking tons of blood from all manner of different sources. The reality is, of course, that Chef
That was his
that was his job, so it's not unusual for you to smell ridiculous quantities of blood.
Smell of blood could be masking anything in the room.
But the question is, do you smell kindred?
Now you can go with Wits Composure or Wits Investigation. Wits Investigation is pulling your very best Sherlock Holmes. Wits Composure is just trying to like see things in the open is the wrong term, but see things that aren't hidden. Oh, poor Claire. Okay.
I'm doing a quick glance.
The smell. It is probably, yeah, it's too much for your sensitive senses.
Poor Claire.
You're like the
Worst part is
bloodhound trying to track after someone fired in your face. It's impossible.
And the worst part is you'll have to stay over to do some investigation.
You have to plug your nose with some tampons.
It still amuses me what the original use for a tampon was.
God, I'm now curious. Is that what it was actually for?
No, the tampon's original design use was to plug bullet wounds, I think back in World War II or World War I.
That makes sense, I suppose.
Technically, it's to shove in a bloody hole. It's always served that purpose.
And sometimes that bloody hole has been tended to by a German, but you know, whatever. Okay, let's go in order here.
Multiple different ways a bloody hole can be inflicted by.
Yeah. Let's continuing on. So first of all, DCL, with your wits composure, you're able to nothing is immediately visible to you, but you're able to smell like the origin of the blood orgy, such as it were, this melange of different blood types, smells, ages, all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the
Aspirations? Oh my god, you're right. I'm a terrible person. Thank you very much for it's better now than never. Let's get that underway very quickly.
Okay.
Oh, I'm the worst.
I'm back.
Welcome back, just in time to realise that I forgot aspirations. Also, everyone went into the house. I just skipped rolling, breaking the locks to get in, because face it, you're here, and that's a very easy task for you. You can also make a roll to try and figure out what the key belongs to, that you now have in your grasp. But before that, Lily, you have 2 aspirations currently, in space for a new one. I didn't say a third one because I knew better. Get the club off the ground and make big money are currently there. What would you like your last aspiration to be?
Help Tim with his job.
Help him with his job. Okay, cool. DCL, you have complete a job without resorting to violence, still currently got a plus in it. In a violent confrontation, kick the most arse, nothing's happened for that. And perform a job alongside Rose, that's still got a plus in it. Would you like to change any of these?
Nope.
Cool. Mers, you have research persistent shadows, it has a plus. Learn the identity of Grim Knight, it has nothing in it. And resolve side job, shaking a few trees, that has a plus in it. Would you like to change any?
I am happy with all those.
Excellent. Stray, you have upgrade the Argus Manor, that has a plus in it. Discover forgotten lore of the Bahra for Herrera, that has nothing in it right now. And obtain a ghoul. Would you like to change any of these? Cool.
I destroyed that lock.
And that's it. Oh, Gidgeon. Become integrated with the local Invictus. That has a plus. Get reacquainted with the modern age. Get hip to modern tech. Has a plus. Assist my coterie with a side job. Has a plus. Would you like to change any of those?
Nope.
Excellent. There you go. Nice quick aspirations. Carrying on. Just left that sheet of unstable cards open.
My wayward son.
I'm just going to drink here. I love that song. But I refuse to sing it. Okay, so I'll go back again in order. Yes, DCO, you are able to follow the scent of many different types of blood to its destination, which appears to be a locked cabinet in the kitchen.
Hey, Rose.
Claire is, before you get there, Claire is too distracted by the scent of so many bloods overlapping, thanks to her uncanny perception, that when she starts trying to actually investigate Sherlock Holmes style, she locates nothing. Timothy, on the other hand, is able to plug his nose and begin investigating properly for real signs of anything interesting. The owner of this place is a kindred, and so, the typical, sense of a person living here that, sweats and sheds skin and uses the toilet and all that stuff should be absent. However, it is not here. So you would assume that after you've, had a proper look around and turned some things over and found, human being toiletries, you realise that Chef's home, at least as far as a week ago, was being inhabited by a, living, breathing human. You don't suspect ghoul either. Gideon, you are doing a look around itself. You are able to find the same thing as DCL, the origin of this repeated blood smell. Nothing else stands out to you as particularly strange.
Nope, so be kind of looking at the windows, making sure that we're at least trying to see that we're not being watched.
Well, you would like to do that, except the owner of this place was a kindred, so the windows are blackout, so you can't see out of them.
Fair enough.
Rose, was that roll, sorry, to, get in the door, or was that to inspect the key?
That was just on the lock.
Yeah, the inevitable. You only need the one success.
Yeah.
That lock posed no
Yeah.
threat to you. Would you like to try and figure out what the key belongs to before we jump back
Yeah,
to
what do I
DCL?
want to roll for that? Intelligence larceny?
Intelligence larceny seems good. Does your trained professional include, literal
That's wits composure.
wits composure? Okay, so no. But yes, intelligence larceny seems to make sense.
I'm only I'm of average intelligence.
Fair enough, but you're of above average larceny.
Since most people don't have any, then yes, I'm well above average.
You're in the poor district. Everyone has at least moderate larceny.
Oh no.
It's not just a black joke. There are also Russians and Asians and Mexicans here. You're so racist, DCL.
I'm not gonna put a willpower on that.
No. Okay, so you don't really
I'll
know
have
the
two
origin of
left.
this broken key.
If you guys find a jammed lock around here,
I'm gonna try to identify it real quick, just because I can. At least I can make the attempt.
Give it a go. Intelligence larceny.
I will say that's racist.
Like all of my.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's embarrassing. So you and all of your lock-picking profession and lock-fixing profession aren't sure exactly where it comes from. DCL, on the other hand, knows that it is a kind of rare key because it's usually used in the glove compartment of a vehicle as opposed to anywhere else, and it's not like the car's key, it is a glove compartment key.
Oh, fuck you. Dealing with a glove department key.
Whatever it is, it's been broken off, rather obviously. This thing wasn't just it twisted and broke, it looks like the end was snapped off of it.
Well, we got a missing car and a broken glove department key.
Glove compartment key.
Yeah, I swear that's what that is. You know, it sounds.
Who the hell has a key for their glove compartment?
People with shit to
Like,
hide.
That was a shit that happened in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, if anyone's got a really old Buick that has a glove...
70s?
Yeah, no, if anyone's got a particularly old Buick, that's probably got a glove compartment key.
Point is, that's what it is. I mean, we are talking about an old black dude. Probably had a taste of old stylish cars.
Indeed, the logic is relatively infallible. Chef was an old fat black man. He probably had an old fat black man's car.
I'll shrug and continue on. All I found was oh yeah, Rose did open the source of the blood smell, right?
Yes, although I dare say she's stepped away from the computer again because I think that the knocking came from her end. So it's yet more of her family fucking bothering her over something dog related, I'm sure.
Okay, well then I'll just open. I'll open the unlocked box now.
Huh? Yeah, we'll just assume that, as usual, she unlocked it. And when you open it, you can see that it is not actually a safe. It's designed to look like one, but it is... It's plugged into something if you imagine the power cable for it actually goes through, a kitchen countertop. So that it looks like it's just a safe that's just sat there, but it is actually receiving power from a source, and that is to power a miniature fridge, effectively, and the safe is packed to the brim with bags and bags of blood.
Guess nothing out of it for a blood cellar.
You would estimate... in fact, you probably wouldn't know this, but... Timothy's been in the Elysium for long enough, and as well he was part of the questioning for what is a month's supply of blood bags and stuff. Do you want to give me an intelligence test, just raw?
Raw intelligence.
Yeah. Unless you have anything related to bureaucracy or catering as a skill.
I think. I think politics might cover bureaucracy, but
S- politics doesn't really fall into the same place as like invoicing.
uh,
I guess accountancy is
guess
more appropriate than bureaucracy. Do you have accountancy skills? Do you have geomancy at all?
that's not a
Well, there you have
that's
it.
not its own skill.
I know, but it could be a merit you put a dot in. Like, shit, if I made a character in World of Darkness, they'd have a dot in accountancy.
Oh, actually, Nah, that probably wouldn't help. Okay, I guess my dice like me today.
I'll be fucking damned. Like, that's the second time that you've come out with nearly maximum successes on just a low ball of dice. Alright. It looks like 3 weeks of blood. So, assuming he was collecting, a month's worth, he was nearly done before he suddenly stopped.
So,
When was
he stopped collecting about a week ago. That's about how long the Kine has been here instead.
Yeah, how long ago did he receive this month's shipment request?
It would have been maybe. He's probably actually about a week overdue by this point. He made his delivery in the beginning of December, and you're in the beginning of January, and it's not happened yet.
So probably earlier this month, like almost at the start of it.
You're at the start this month. You mean
No.
late end of last month?
Yeah.
Yes, that does ring true.
He's
It
been
would
gone
estimate
for-
then that this place has at least possibly been absent for an entire week. At least that seems to be when the blood acquisition has stopped. It's about a week shy of being a full amount, and indeed he is a week shy of delivery. It might have been in the very same day he was expected to do some delivery, he just fucking didn't get it and didn't come up.
Same time frame as the other.
What would be the assumption that this guy was a professional and would have his shipment probably earlier than that? Maybe like 2 weeks? Or is it just
As far as records concerned, he was just like on time. Regardless of how professional you want to be, there's a limit to how quickly you can acquire bags of blood without raising some strange questions.
I know, but usually you want to give yourself extra time. You don't want to be like, oh, okay, I got my shipment done right now, and now I'm gonna go deliver it.
I mean,
Oh,
that
okay.
is a reasonable assumption. The reality is that's less likely because blood is nicer the fresher it is.
Okay, if he was just trying to go for supreme freshness.
I mean, yeah, you get your delivery on the day of, and then it's good for a month, and you get another month's worth, and that's just how it works. Like, he hasn't been able to do this, so someone else has taken the slack, and it's not like they failed to provide blood. It's just that they're probably going to have to hire a new person if he's gone properly AWOL. You do have like 3 weeks worth of blood between you. That if you guys just had a little bit of a quick feasting frenzy, all of you could max out all of your vitae, pretty much like right now.
Would that be wise?
Hmm.
Well, we don't know if anything's happened to the blood, and it might be evidence. So
You can try wits investigation or intelligence investigation directly on this matter if you would like to see if there's been any kind of tampering. Do you have any kind of
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, you look over this blood
Good
and
God.
it is pristine. All of these blood bags, like they have a sealed tap from, when once the needle is pulled out and once the cable that is attaching person to blood bag is removed, the seal shuts. There is no sign of any tampering with any of these. And considering it's only been a week old and this fridge hasn't lost power at all in any case, you're probably looking at some pretty decent food right here. That said, it's a week out of delivery, and you could give it to the Elysium, but they've already got replacement blood coming in. Nothing seems wrong with it.
So we found signs of humans in the place, probably not ghouls. Was there any sign of struggle or fighting within the place that we
No.
could see? No sign of struggle or fighting, and all the blood's been left alone.
Mm-hmm.
Does
As far
this
as we
place
can
have a
tell.
second floor?
No. Well, it does technically, but that means going back out into the hallway and just walking up to the doors to other people's apartments. You can certainly go and look into other people's homes if you'd like. You don't sense anything above you that might belong to living people or dead.
Well, we should leave this to investigation, especially with Timothy rolling the roles he's rolling.
It's
Trying to see if it-
pristine, and if we do encounter killers, assuming we aren't just too far behind, we need to be at our full strength, Darian.
Shit, if it's an order from the top.
Yeah, if you would like to, you guys can, stand around for like what is effectively. I mean, it's 10 minutes if you really rush it, but it's about an hour's drinking really, and all of you can get your vitae maxed out.
Well, we were supposed to be heading down to Jack's. Well, how can we like take a bag of blood?
Yeah, I mean, no, this is basically like, do you want to take this crate of Capri Suns with you and just slurp on the go?
Me and I assume me and Remy Gideon will take a few bags and get going.
Yes, my bike has saddlebags. You can just put a couple drinks in there on the go.
Yep, you all get straws you can poke in the top. Like, literally, it's like poking into a Capri Sun, and sometimes you pierce through to the other side, you're like, no! Every time! Why?
If anybody asks, it's Kool-Aid. Very red, sugary Kool-Aid.
Yep.
Oh yeah, oh yes. Claire has an actual trunk with a cooler in it. Versus me, my
No, she has an
bike-
actual trunk. That thing is a cooler. This guy's to look like a safe.
Yeah.
Versus my bike with saddlebags.
You're fixie.
How much could you get from like 2 bags?
I don't really want to put an objective number of bags on it because I can't think off the top of my head how much quantity-wise that is. I don't want to do the maths. Literally, just if you guys all drank everything in that safe, then you could all max your vitae out. There might be like 1 or 2 bags left over that would be maybe like an extra vitae.
I'm just trying to be practical so me and Remy can get on the go and not spend an hour standing around.
I mean, you can just say, we're going to take enough to max out our vitae, and we'll just hand wave it, and you can drink it on the go.
Okay, yeah, we're drinking it on the go. Come on, Remy, let's go see if we can't find Jack's
Yeah, you
first.
guys enjoy that.
It's just both of them, like him riding bitch seat on a fixie while they slurp from bags of blood like a fucking Capri Sun in the midnight. I just love the image so much.
Hey,
Both wearing
weirder
suits.
shit happens in the city, in the poor area.
I'm in love with the mental
Not
image.
by much.
So long as no one points out that it's a young black man and an old white man.
Anyway,
Come on, Remy.
before those two go, I want to just have we been able to find Chef's bedroom?
You can certainly move on to there next. Like if you imagine the kitchen is like the first, like half of this first floor, you step out into the hallway and you just walk through, and there's like a living space, bathroom and bedroom. Yeah, you can locate his bedroom. When you get in there, it looks empty. The sheets have been made. The cupboards are all closed. Likewise, there's the same blackout like lined up against the windows, so it's dark. Everything turns on fine. Let's see here. Unlike Esteban's, there's no like digital clock that shows a blinking image or like an incorrect time that would evidence some kind of power outage happened. It looks like a normal bedroom, although it looks like it hasn't been occupied for, again, maybe like a week now that you have that time frame to judge everything by.
So no corpse, no sigils on the wall in ash and blood.
Not this time. It just looks abandoned.
Maybe it would be nice to get a consistent killer, though maybe if Chef is dead, he wasn't killed here.
That seems increasingly likely.
It almost looked like they wanted to set a message with Esteban.
Me and Gideon probably need to get going. if Jax or his are involved, we need to get down there before it's too late.
Yes.
You guys investigate, and we'll be back later. Come follow us whenever you're done here. We'll meet back up with you, whichever happens first.
A little Invictus flag on a bike buggy. Just slurping blood bags away.
I would
Oh.
rather just run than ride in a bike baggie. Okay.
Yeah, that's like a baby stroller for bikes.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he'd be hunched up with like knees to his shoulders, which makes it even better.
You know what? Actually, I wouldn't have to. I could ride that fucking shit and just put face in the crowd.
Yeah, no one would know you're in there. You're a gangrel.
All
You
the
just
joys
just
of
turn, yeah, just fold yourself up and start
Face in
slurping
the
away.
crowd doesn't work when you're drawing attention to yourself.
It does when you have 4 points of obfuscate.
You could turn on invisibility. Face in the crowd is different.
You know, of all the pictures I've seen of bikes, I'd have to say that one's pretty close to what I'm imagining.
What with the saddlebags on the side of that one?
Oh yeah. What's your VT max again? Your VT has a maximum it can go to, right?
It should already be calculated on this sheet as the maximum number of boxes you can fill out.
Oh
It
wow,
is
I
not.
cannot one.
Is it
No,
not?
Scout.
Oh no, so it isn't.
Not at all.
Okay.
For-
For you guys with BP1, it's max 10.
Yes.
Oh, I was already. So.
You were already maxed. I'll be damned. So yeah, I mean, you could spend it for invisibility and then just drink yourself up. I mean, reality is, if you were already at max, you can effectively bring like 5 Vitae's worth of blood with you and just start trying to burn that shit. It will lose its potency unless it gets refrigerated again. So I mean, it's good for like a day.
Just in case, why not? You never know.
Yeah, you can carry 5 Vitae's worth of blood bags with you. As I say, it will last basically a whole day's cycle before it goes, less bloody because it's no longer
Probably
refrigerated.
also like drinking cold coffee or cold.
Yeah, it's probably like way less appetizing when it starts to sludgificate. Like right now, you got to no, it's in fact it's like drinking a warm soda. Right now, you can really clench that thirst.
It's like a tea or a coffee that you've left out for a day. It's kind of gotten a little dusty. Room temperature.
All right, let's go.
I mean, shit, yeah.
So,
If anyone's like really close to it, we can just say that you're carrying 5 Vitae's worth of blood that will allow you to snack attack, but it's potent for a day and that's it.
Very well. Gideon throws a couple bags in the saddlebags, gets on his bike, says, "Get on."
If you get into an accident with that thing.
Oh
that's
my
gonna
god, yeah,
be,
you hit cars, just blood everywhere, and you're like, I'm okay! I'm okay!
I'm a senior citizen, I have full tort, and you hit me.
6 people died today in a car accident. Only 1 body was found.
The others can- Come on. All right, I'll hop on the bike with a sigh.
And then he starts pedaling away with like a fucking madman.
Pedal on my wayward son. There'll be blood
What is
when
wrong with
you are gone.
I've got like max stamina. How fast do we pedal?
But does
It's
it
not
have
a double bikey, it's still only him biking.
Oh, okay.
But does it have a bike rack?
Okay, you tell me, do you have a bike rack? Oh no, you mean in that car, right, yeah.
Don't you cry. Oh.
Bum, 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 bum.
We're biking away.
Yeah, of course. If you... I mean, you could be poking around there more, it's entirely your choice. I believe you're just spending the time until Lily turned up again. Looking,
Yeah.
when you go to the bedroom, it doesn't...
What do you want me for? What's up, guys?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so you've inspected this place and it appears to have been abandoned, and all the information thus far you've corroborated would tell you a week. There is a missing car, and you have the broken key that belongs to a glove box in it. You have reason to believe, I suppose, that key was broken on purpose. Maybe the car is missing on purpose. That would just be conjecture. Likewise, there is a missing chef. Someone was here in the leading week up to this abandoned... Well, until this abandonment, so there is a human involved in some kind of way.
You got a computer minion, right? Right, Tim?
Yeah, he does computers, and I also do computers.
Here, why don't you guys look up CCTV for this the street? Find out what kind of car we're looking for. Should have been right over that grease spot with the storm drain.
Alright, I'll give Benedict a call.
Yep.
Bendy Dick come and snatch.
Yep. Cubadale Cumbert names.
Benadryl cough attack.
Yep.
Benadryl Cabbage Patch is one of my favorites.
I honestly like Hubert Cumberdale because it's not even close. Peppermint Coming Snatch is also good.
And the best part is, he knows his name is a meme and he rolls with it.
Yeah.
I don't think he rolls with it. He just laughs at it.
A power source in the trunk. Cooler blood. Do you have one in your trunk? I mean, you can put the whole cooler into your trunk, sure. And it will have blood for you and Tim and whoever wants to come along with you in particular, which I assume is also Rose.
I have a motorcycle.
You have a motorcycle, so it's probably just, whatever blood people don't want to carry.
No, you guys keep the blood. I ain't drinking that shit.
You don't drink
I
and
don't know where
drive.
it's been.
I don't
For
drink and
all I know,
drive.
that blood could be infected with AIDS.
Would that even really bother you? I'm thinking about it. Does that bother a vampire?
It would make you a carrier.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it
trust
would.
me, I'm
And
carrying much
you're
worse.
sexually active.
Oh, trust me, I'm carrying much worse diseases.
Oh god, yeah, there's fucking bubonic Gideon over there.
Yeah, you stay away from me.
I got bubonic plague, smallpox, pretty much anything known to man that's not supposed to exist anymore.
I've got whooping crotch. I don't know what that one is.
God, you can't leave anybody alive when you feed. The fuck?
Yeah, just all those old-timey illnesses just start cropping up. No, you went into torpor. That shit cycled out of you. You don't stay a carrier forever.
I actually think unless you were infected when you were embraced, the nightly reset would get rid of diseases like that. They wouldn't stay in your blood longer than one night's sleep.
That makes sense.
Why take the risk?
No,
I mean,
but
that is safe thinking.
He's not. Think of it. He might not be infected, but he can straight up tell people, I was walking the earth when smallpox was still a thing.
Smallpox is still a thing. People aren't vaccinating their goddamn kids.
So disappointed
Anyway.
in the world. But yeah, I need to take a quick leak and fetch a fresh drink. If you guys want to figure out which places you're going to, you're welcome to get like initial rolls out of the way, and I'll be right back.
Are we all going to be heading to Jacques, or are we splitting up to hit two locations at once?
I'm Henry Jock.
I was heading with Gideon because I'm pretty much useless in investigation. However, if something happens physical, I can help.
How do you determine vehicle speed?
What did the message say
I
in
suppose-
full? The killer was here? Is what it said, basically?
The killers were here, step softly. It's in the handout, DCL.
What?
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I'm not finding any reference to it in Chronicles of Darkness as the second edition, as Stray said.
Oh, damn.
But in the first edition, Vampire the Requiem, there were vampires called blisters. That was a term for a vampire who contracts a mortal disease and spreads it to vessels upon whom she feeds.
Pretty fucked up. It's a lot of people with the
So-
clap.
It's not mentioned that diseases reset for vampires.
I would assume that
And
they
second-
do. The reality. Otherwise, like, just genuinely thinking about how much of a logistic nightmare that idea could become, it just gives me a headache, so I decide, fuck it. The reset does in fact work. Sure.
Well, that's the idea, is that you got to be careful on who you feed. You can't just...
The cleansing, Lily. Like, anything
Yeah.
that wouldn't constitute a health level of damage heals automatically and returns to its original state. So,
I mean, they had
I-
that in first edition too, but...
I would read that as including diseases myself. Right? Since even something like a tattoo, you have to like spend willpower to be able to keep. Like, it's just pigment.
Delightful. Anyway, so yeah, so which person's going to which location? I know that DCL and Gideon would like to go ahead. Which place are they going to? Jacques or the Cotton Eye?
Jacques.
You're off to Jacques. Are the rest following to Jacques or off to Cotton Eye?
Oh, is there not anything left to investigate?
Not really, no. I mean, like, any evidence thus far has proven that your lead is in a car that is missing, and the location itself has been abandoned for a week. Up to that week's abandonment, there might very well have been a human being around, as well as Chef.
But,
There is no sign of a struggle, and it looks like the place has been tidied up, and the blood safe was not cleared out, so...
guess we're all headed to Jock.
Oh, if you're all headed there, then yeah, sure. Capri Vitae. Caprite. Delicious.
Yeah, just on to Jacques seems sensible.
Sure.
Stray, give me a 1d10. Let's see if you have a bike rack for your car. You don't, okay. Nope, sadly there is no bike rack.
Think about that before you come biking to a scene. You'll have to bike away.
Yeah, don't leave a bike unattended. It is an obvious addition to a car, and your paranoia would not allow that.
I am not leaving an unattended bike in the poor district.
Look, it would be uncomfortable, but maybe you can put the bike in the car. Oh no, it's a fixie. Never mind.
You don't know people like to steal bikes.
They've liked to steal bikes ever since the 1800s. How dare you? Did you know the Jippos existed back then?
I guess I'll warn Ramil to never leave a bike in the poor district. Just take it from me. No one else. Otherwise, people will take it from you.
Good to know.
They left my carriage on blocks, yeah. They stole your horse. Well, no, they stole the hoofs off your horse. It's just put up there on the blocks. Like, what the fuck happened here?
I've seen that. Hold on.
Maybe at some point I'll upgrade to like a cruising motorcycle. Who knows?
Sorry, I said horse and then suddenly immediately thought of this, which is one of my favourite dumb pictures. If a horse's mouth went all the way back.
That would be terrifying. Yeah.
That fucking Potter right picture.
Well, have you seen the horse to dragon slider?
Yeah, I love that thing actually. I saw that many a year ago and it was really cool.
I feel slightly uncomfortable at that picture.
Yeah, no, I think that's correct.
No, wait. I think I just thought of the next. If I would have to get an upgrade for Gideon, an old white man in a suit on an Italian moped.
Oh, you should
Oh,
totally
God.
upgrade to a little Italian moped instead.
Just be the most un-American old white man.
Let's see here.
Then I can just speak to I can just speak Italian to people who I really don't feel like talking to.
Have all the worst movies.
Oh man, I forgot how like silly some of the old like the properly Italian style mopeds, the fucking Piaggio Vespa. I knew someone who owned yeah, the Faggio, which is fucking GTA 5 bike before anyone judges
Hey,
me.
I actually liked riding on the moped over motorcycles in some of the GTAs. They had a lot more control.
They did.
But yeah, no, I knew someone who had
You just to deal
one
with
of these.
driving a Faggio.
Yeah, no, I used to know someone who owned one of these. Well, not exactly that one, but very similar in style. That was still a moped. And I was like, that thing does not look like a moped. Fucking well is. It's just like a little gas tank and a little electric starter, and that's it. That's your whole goddamn moped.
We're going down to Jack's.
Yes.
Unless Scow wants me to make the roll for Benedict first, yeah.
That should be a complete link. Oh well.
It's because of the dollar sign, it just breaks things.
You'll just have to copy paste it instead. But yeah, sorry, is there anything you would actually like to do at this place, or are you splitting up, or are you heading off to Jacques? It sounds like you'll actually make it there before Gideon, who has to ride his fixie.
Yeah. As Rose suggested, call Benedict CCTV hacking.
Of course, yes.
Do you want me to roll for that or what?
Can you roll me first a d10? We'll see how quickly it happens.
Peace.
Okay, it's not going to happen quickly. They can get the information, it's not happening tonight. And now roll me 6d10, please. Add another d10.
One off a dramatic.
One off a dramatic.
Oh.
Sadly, you can't spend willpower on Benedict's behalf, but fucking... I mean, it's still 4 successes. It's not technically different from 1, but if anyone were trying to contest with you, not that I would tell you if they were or weren't, then it would be a 4 to contest against whatever someone else may or may not have. But yeah, no, it's not going to happen tonight, sadly, but he will let you know that he's working on it.
Got top men on it.
Top Man. Top Man being a pretty great shirt, a great place if you want to buy some really effeminate shirts.
Do not talk Gideon into going there.
What to Top Man?
Does America have that?
I don't think so.
I've never heard of that place.
I mean, there's a place called Top Shop, which is like just a place to get chic, trendy clothing for like 20-somethings if you're a woman. And then usually in the second floor is a place called Top Man, which basically is like very barely adjusted sex women's clothing for men, quote unquote. I have some very, very cute shirts from Top Man. When I was younger, it's like, this is just a scam, but it looks good and it's got a label on it, whatever.
Pretty sure that's not an American thing.
Because now you're a man.
It would be like trying to, I guess, buy clothing for a men's line version of a slightly less emo Hot Topic.
Okay. Well, heading down to Jack.
Okay then. Well, alright, so...
Jacques.
Jacques. So, Jacques the Blind lives in the sewers. That location, that little ping you've got there, is the clearest, like, sewer access. It's, the easiest way to get down there, and it is known to be where members of the Crones would make contact with members of the any brain failing me, Botticelli. Need to check again.
Hey, Timothy, Invictus members totally get free dry clean, right?
Yes.
All right.
Rose will shake her head no.
There's always been cleaners.
Get some fucking.
Sometimes they do clothes.
Tim's never noticed. He gets he esquires now.
Man, all I'm saying is that we're about to go into sewer and I'm wearing a suit.
You'll be fine.
Well, of course I'll be fine. My suit won't be.
Shame, it's a nice suit.
Whatever. If it gets too dirty, I can bill it to the Invictus.
Sometimes in the name of the greater purpose, you have to get your hands dirty.
There you go. Claire learned from last time. And she pulls out a full-length poncho, shoe bags, and some gloves.
I'm going to text my ghouls, tell them to make sure there's plenty of air fresheners.
I'm gonna look at Claire and go like, how many times have you gone through a sewer that you have that? The answer should be it only takes the once.
Heyo.
I'm gonna look at Claire and go, Rose's bedroom?
Does Claire deliver a high five?
Wait, what was the question, DCL?
I asked Claire, like, how many times as a sewer she's been to like have the poncho and stuff ready. She said not sewers, but other dirty places.
To which DCL then said, "You mean Rose's bedroom?" And then there was a heyo.
I will have you know, my bedroom is immaculate.
Lethal
Beforehand.
Now, afterwards, it looks more espaculate. It's been spackled.
Not full of spunk. It is 3 ladies. Thank you.
Remember that one of them happens to have.
She's still a lady.
She's still a lady, of course, but she still happens to have a cum cannon.
Penis.
Fact is, they ejaculate. Either way.
She's probably on hormones, so it's not that much.
I mean, yeah, it's not masses, but. And of course, she shoots blanks, but still.
Cover the fucking room.
Right, Claire. So the moral of the story is be prepared to get dirty, because apparently you guys get that a lot.
Yeah, I don't think Claire has mentioned a single place that doesn't exist.
Playing Super Mario Brothers and going into the sewer.
Yep.
Okay, so let me try and set the scene for you. As you'll bring your car up, like, the neighborhood gets a little bit shiftier, but also a little bit more active. Like, it's say 1 a.m., I suppose. It's 1 a.m. in the poor district. You're not massively far away from some kind of really shitty grade nightclub or some place to go do drugs. However, and also buy drugs, of course, and to steal drugs, and to make drugs.
Does DCL get a bonus to that?
No. Because, let's face it, DCL was still brought up clean living, and to any other black dude, he would look like a narc.
He is not Hispanic or white.
Okay, no. Okay, I'm straight edge as fucked, but I've already had 4 people in this fucking apartment come up to me and ask me if I sell weed. Not if I do weed, if I fucking sell it.
I mean, you have dreads.
I don't look clean edge, motherfuckers.
No, it's true. You don't look like a narc.
Yeah, black people get the reputation for selling, but not necessarily making.
And none of them ever do shrooms for some reason. That's the thing I heard. Black people don't do shrooms. It's because they never go camping.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have to go camping to do shrooms.
I don't know. I feel like they do, and that's why it never happens.
Maybe it's just because they have access to better stuff.
It would appear that Stray did not like my joke.
Denim, denim, denim. Denim, denim, denim. It's one of my favorite stupid jokes. It's a great one.
It's a good one.
All right.
Someone in the chat just said, "Oh, lack of context. Ignorance is truly bliss." Yeah, no. One of Rose's ghouls is trans, and so happens to have a Schwingus. Still, admittedly, since they've been on HRT for fuck knows how long in setting, it doesn't shoot much. It shoots blanks. But I like the phrase "cum cannon" as opposed to spam pen, or pork sword, or ham handle.
Special, like Google stuff they can do.
Gideon would be very confused at that point.
Probably not any special ghoul stuff.
Any special ghoul stuff they can do, sorry? Well, I mean, one of your ghoul...
to be better at, both.
I mean, you could help them train that kind of thing up. No, I mean, that's the thing that you can help them train. I think that's a system in this game wherein you can help your ghouls get better at stuff and learn powers. I used to say they have to learn, like, mind powers. Some of them could learn, like, body-changey powers and get better at things by default.
Oh, yeah, protein is, like, not a Ventrue thing.
Why are we not in the sewers yet?
Let's get in the sewers.
Okay, so yes, no, I was setting the scene for you before we start talking about drugs, black people, and Mario.
What a hell of a combination.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, as you, like, drive through this increasingly more dodgy area, those of you who have been here in San Pasado for a while and happen to know a bit more about the area recognize, although disguised as gang signs, as being, like, signals, I guess, symbols. You know very well that you're in a crone's location. And although, they are not antagonists in San Pasado, like, they don't get in fights ever with you guys because it's just not worth the hassle. They genuinely profit off of getting up to the nefarious shit they get up to, and the Invictus let them have their little slice of pie. Indeed, giving them a slice of pie seems like a way to indoctrinate them into trying to run business and to do that kind of thing. It hasn't worked 100%, but frankly they're more civilized than most crones get, so maybe it did. You recognize these signs and symbols. Somewhere around here, in particular, Timothy, you could probably find, like, if not a crone directly, one of their toadies or underlings. Might be worthwhile as a guide, or at least maybe just a place to hang on to your vehicles so they don't get nicked.
Yeah. Is there anyone I know of or recognize?
If anything, your Invictus status would make it harder to recognize anyone specifically unless they were a leader or a high-up, and they aren't going to be doing toady duty. So no, not specifically, but you guys can, spot a ghoul pretty naturally and easily. It's not that they default hide it. Likewise, you can spot a kindred by spotting a kindred. You can all give me a wits composure if you know what to look for, which you kind of do.
Am I there yet?
It's going to take you, like, maybe a little bit longer. I believe they're taking a leisurely pace, though, so everyone gets their time to slurp down a little bit of Capri Vitae Sun.
I assume we're at least somewhat hasted, since this is under the assumption that time is of the essence, and Jax might be in trouble.
Jacques.
But also, we don't want to be driving so fast that we leave you completely in the dirt, I think.
Likewise as well, like, trying to haul it down the roads at 1 a.m. in a car and a motorbike is not the 100% the best idea. You're in the poor district. Oh, there's some ass dice. Wits composures from anyone else?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to.
As you're pulling your bike up alongside the Clemobile. Alright. Effectively the same as getting a 1 in this situation. Yeah, there is a ghoul. Just looking at this ghoul, like, full well, I say there because they're quite androgynous. Their master is probably a Nazi. Like, they've taken on that same sort of almost battish features, although it's just at a glance, it's hard to tell gender. They're dressed at that perfectly androgynous level of emo and punk where you're like, fucking could be a very effeminate dude or could be a butchy lass. Hard to say.
With elephant pants or elephant bell bottoms?
No, it's the tight leather, but they got the long belt that covers the crotch area so you can't see if there's a bulge.
Oh, that kind. We had more of the elven bell bottoms here.
Fair enough. Yeah, and it's the shirt that could be a crop top, but probably is actually just a shirt with some cuts in it, but likewise still makes it hard to say. Like, it's literally just that perfect androgynous mix of the perfect goth emo clothing. But yeah, they're undoubtedly a ghoul. Like, you can tell their features have got that sort of nocturnal battishness about them. And if any of you flag them down, they'll come on over. Before they even fully reach the car, they're like, "Ah, right, you guys of the night, how's it going? What's up? How can I do? How can I help?"
Is your boss around?
Which kind of boss you talking? Bouncer or mistress?
Not Mizzy.
Huh? Oh, Missy ain't my mistress. No. My mistress just a normal lass. Well, normal kin lass.
Yes, please.
Sure thing. Tell you what, you guys want to pull around the alley over here? He'll, like, indicate an alleyway. It's a little ways off, but it looks like it's, like, the alleyway next to a house next to a fast food chain. And he'll guide you guys down to it. Gidgeon, as you're, like, cycling up, you can probably see, like, their tail lights. Confusion and longing. Oh, Little Italy. Yeah, Little Italy is probably closer to the industrial because it's where all the water folk are.
Maybe I should make that my hunting ground.
Fuck yeah.
No one else claimed it yet.
It's very true. No one is in the industrial area. I mean, DCL lives there, but he doesn't hunt there.
Well, you don't know. I don't think any of us have bothered to like check out hunting grounds yet.
It's true. I mean, you guys already have, like, regulars that work out quite well for you, and there's not been an occasion where I've had to try and force you out of your hunting ground.
Well, I will probably declare, like, or try to get declared my club its own thing.
It will be able to become its own thing, but I believe the Weirs want you to make sure that it's not, like, an all-the-time thing. Like, you know, every now and again you can do a tapping, but they don't want there to be any evidence of, like, night things happening.
The
And to them-
idea.
Yeah, sorry, yes, the idea is... Yeah, because it's like,
consensual.
half of the spirits that the werewolves around here chase happen to be people who got drained by vampires and then hit by cars. Like, that happens painfully often. There are millions of people
Those are
in San
ghosts, not
Posado.
spirits.
Oh, I suppose. Well, no, spirits are a collective of ghosts, and it happens often enough that occasionally you
They
get
aren't, though. They're-
Alright,
they're
no,
very
no.
different.
Okay, whatever. Regardless, they happen to deal with that shit.
The Sin Eaters would probably have to deal with the ghosts.
Sin Eaters would have to deal with the ghosts, yes, but no. I mean, there's the spirit of suffering and the spirit of lost and early death,
Sure.
and those do coalesce in popular vampiric hunting grounds. They don't want one of those to form in the upper district where they are.
Oh yeah, like. But that's the thing about
They are. You're right. They
declaring
aren't
it-
made
Oh
of
my
dead
God.
people. But yes. Anyway.
Declaring it my own hunting ground would mean everybody wanting to feed there would have to ask me for permission beforehand.
They would. Yes, you would be able to declare it. But likewise, they wouldn't
or
want you to.
suffer
The
from
consequences.
Prince.
The
Yes.
consequences. Especially if they're being upheld by werewolves who are okay with you taking a few taps. Regardless.
What exactly does active patrols by the industrial area mean?
Active patrols, it means that if you do things in an area that has an active patrol that draws a lot of attention, police will get there very quickly. Anywhere that says active patrol, police will get there incredibly quickly. It's all over the place. There's one in the upper on the left, one in the upper on the right, two in the skyrise and industrial areas specifically. There is not in the poor district. It's very slow around there. Because no one wants to drive around trying to get to crime scenes in the poor district. That's how getting your car, firebombed happens. Yeah, anything important can cause spirits to form. So yes, vampire hunting grounds happen to form spirits quite often because early death does happen there. So does like just bacchanal rituals of blood fucking happening, etc. But yes, moving on. You are pulled away into an alleyway. The ghoul will give you a grin. Let's see here. Although you guys obviously don't smoke, he will hand you a half-finished cigarette. Or I say they will hand you a half-finished cigarette and saunter off into another building. Presumably, you guys don't actually use said cigarette, your kindred, but it's entirely possible he's either high or it's a power play. Spirits of blood and
Curious
restless
ghoul.
death. Yes, lots of that.
Curious ghoul.
Interesting observation at the very least.
And this was the faction that came from Bohemians, yes?
What, the Circle of the Crown?
No. The other one.
Parthians?
Yes.
We're not Bohemians. We believe in democracy.
Oh. Worse.
Everybody getting a fair say.
Yes. I believe that was referred to as anarchy.
No. That's an entirely different thing.
Still a terrible idea.
You're a terrible idea.
Gideon just looks on.
For a moment in Gideon's eyes, you can see reflected thousands of years of religious war. Yes,
Thousands of years of religious war and more religious bonfires than anyone would care to ever look at again. He was awake during the time of Vlad the Impaler. He wasn't there, but he might approve.
Very fair. Yeah. How's the countdown for that? Oh, for HRT, not till May. Fucking blows. 6 months.
Christ
Another half a fucking year to wait. But yes, eventually.
It sucks for that, apparently.
Yeah, the UK. It's free here, which is delightful, but that means the wait is internal.
I went down to my clinic. I told them all about, my issues, and they're like, "Okay, here's your prescription."
Yeah. Yeah, it must be nice.
Was it more cowbell?
Huh?
Want some more cowbell? Yeah, no, I got a fever, and the only cure is feminizing drugs. Okay, so yes, eventually someone else will turn up. Mistress seems like if anything, an understatement. They look like they would be perfectly at home in the Little Inferno, but they are too underdressed.
I'll be right back.
And you leave with the bondage part, how dare you?
I'm sorry.
Let's go back to talking about drugs, you guys. Say like and not trust
the only drugs I have ever taken was out in Hawaii, and they were lovely.
Well, yeah, that's because you got high as shit with your auntie? Was it auntie or
I
grandparents?
got high as shit with my aunt for a week in paradise.
I would love to do that. I have yet to ever partake of the jazz cigarette because my father is a roser, and if I ever got caught, in trouble for drugs, then he would get in trouble by default. I mean, I got offered plenty of drugs. I went to university in Bedford. I got offered everything from weed to smack and fucking ket, coke. Teachers offered me coke. That was weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yep. No, the weirdest was getting offered ket because the guy was just off his fucking rocker. Getting offered heroin by someone, and you're like, I'm not even sure you have it, so I'm not going to answer you. And then there's, getting offered coke by a teacher. You want to do lines off my wife's lap, were his words.
The fuck?
What?
Yeah! Bedford's fucking crazy, and I was an arts student. I was in media.
Yeah, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Not enough sense.
Not enough sense, but yeah, no, it was a weird time. I mean, Bedford was fucking rough for uni students. People got stabbed during Freshers Week just in dance floors for no reason other than someone wanted to do a heckin' stabbing. I nearly got knifed 3 times while I was a student over that year.
Wow.
Yeah, I've avoided a lot of knifings.
The only thing I can recall is probably the best story was possibly the first night there and the 5th night there. First night there, my aunt picks me up from the airport. And as we're driving to her house, which was about an hour or maybe 45 minutes away, I'm not even in this vehicle for 15 minutes, and she says, "Would you like some pot?"
That was the
And,
"Are you a narc" test.
yeah, are you a square? Are you going to be one of one of my boring nieces or nephews? So I thought to myself, well, when in Rome, I said, yeah, sure. And the first bonding moment that we had while I was out in Hawaii was my aunt, who is in her 70s, having to teach her 23-year-old nephew how to correctly light, smoke, and hold his first toke.
Was it a joint or a spliff? Welcome back. We just started talking about drugs.
It was
In game
fun.
or out of game?
In game, actually. Sorry, out of game. We
Days
started talking
later,
about drugs.
I drove up the side of the mountain while she was panicking. It was great.
Nice.
I have never done illegal drugs.
Neither have I, but I have been offered all of them. They were very,
It was
very
tricky.
I've never
suppressive.
even been offered.
Oh yeah.
It's trippy as shit standing on top of a mountain and looking down and seeing the clouds, and below those is a plane going by. Like, fuck! I'm high!
I'm very high and high up. Help!
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
I've
the
been
wind up
offered a
there was
bunch.
also insane.
I would love an excuse to partake of the jazz cigarette whilst not on my home turf.
Now, do remember that there are two varieties. One's awesome and it keeps you sanity, the other one gets weird.
I would like both. I would like to try both. But anyway.
I've also never been legitimately drunk.
I mean, that sounds like a healthy person thing, but also it's a shame.
I've had some drinks, but I've never been like drunk.
I just, at some point, I need to just take you to a place that does food and cocktails and we just drink a shit ton of Cosmos. Because you would love the fucking shit out of a Cosmo.
Appletini.
Probably.
Have I told you what was in a Cosmo before?
Appletini.
Appletinis are okay, they're a bit sour sometimes. But a Cosmopolitan is lime, cranberry, Contro, and a little bit of citrus vodka. And it's fucking lovely.
Ow! That wasn't ready to be swallowed.
Oh god, are you alright?
Are you drinking cocks?
No! I didn't chew that enough.
Ah.
Slam your chest a couple times, it'll go down easier.
Also, pinch your nipples, it'll go down easier.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
No, slamming chest makes
Trying
it
to
go
turn
easier.
me into a masochist.
I am a masochist.
Look, if you're choking and you play with your nipples, at least your brain's going to a far better place than death.
Ow, that hurt.
Okay, did not expect you to go there.
Yeah, well, you know, such is life.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you alright for us to go now?
Oh yeah.
Alright, awesome.
Get
So
on with
yes.
this bondage party.
Yeah, the mistress turns up.
Live, bitch, live!
Indeed. And it's an outfit that you would have seen in the Little Inferno for the fact that it looks like so little clothing. Most of their clothing appears to be made up of electrical tape piercings and just like strips of cloth, if anything. She is undoubtedly a Nosferatu, but like those hawkish features only seem to add to
Interest
the...
lost.
Yeah, I know, right? Like the hawkish features, like the sharp eyes. If anything, it makes... This is going to sound weird. It would make a Caucasian person look Asian, so to speak. Like, the features are all tightened up and there's youthful eyes. Like, the hair is pretty much framing the head so that any kinds of oddities about shape might be disguised. There's a little bit of point to the ears, if anything, but it is like next level punk.
Gideon politely looks away a little.
Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
Sir Timothy of Invictus.
Sir, a knight of the Invictus coming into my area. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry that I'm not as accommodating. It would seem my lovely little dear here has left you in an alleyway. Would you like to come in? I have a room around here. I could fix you up
We're on business.
Of course.
We mustn't impose.
You mustn't impose, or you don't want to impose. I mean, and rather, it doesn't matter either way. She'll smile a mouthful of perfectly white teeth.
We have business here.
Business. If it isn't entirely imposing, can I ask what your business is around here? It's kind of interesting to see anyone from the Invictus roll up.
We are looking for Jacques.
She will blink slowly. Oh, one of the blind Nozzies. Sorry,
Yes.
one of the blind Nosferatu.
I see you're familiar with him.
Ah, yes.
Wait,
I mean,
Can I tell what kind of Nazi she is?
you can certainly give it a go. You're a Nazi yourself.
What do I roll?
Intelligence, and you can put your Nazi dots in it, I suppose.
My what?
Not Nazi dots. Your what the fuck is it? Nightmare? It's the closest thing you have to, like, I am a Nosferatu. Yeah. Intelligence, and then a modifier of 2 for having a bunch of nightmare, which is pretty much something that only Nazis tend to grab.
I mean, you could have status Nosferatu,
He doesn't have status Nosferatu.
but you could.
True.
But status Nosferatu is like, throughout the entire city, you are known to the Nosferatu crowd.
Correct, yes. I mean, status is a two-way street. Like, sure, you know more about that kind of stuff, but they know you too.
Mhm.
Okay. 2 successes. Let's see here. Need to double check that I got the name correctly. I don't know that you would be 100% familiar with them. That's not the right one, actually. Shit! Is it the Lygos? Now I have to double check their fucking names.
The ones that are really light sensitive?
Yes, these super light sensitive ones. She would appear to be a Ligos. Not by any measure of fact a particularly powerful Nosferatu. It's, all things considered, a pretty weak bloodline. There is not much that would be considered positive about them. But they aren't at least afflicted with a particularly punishing amount of, for want of a better word, ugliness. The Ligos are pretty much middle of the road as far as Nosferatu are concerned. They're just particularly light sensitive. They experience high sources and intensities of light as like an unpleasant version of synesthesia.
We need to know how to get down to there.
How to get down is very simple, my dear.
Very funny.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not being funny. I can, of course, have my lovely assistant take you down to the entrance. I would still like to know why you're doing so. Call it a professional courtesy. It's just kind of strange for Invictus folks to be wandering around in this district for the very least. Even more stand out that you guys are after some Botticelli folks. You know, leaves the last kind of concerned.
To make a very long story short, there was a breach in etiquette, and we are here to investigate why.
Are you saying a Botticelli put the mask at risk? Because that seems super unlikely.
Oh no, not that. A lesser etiquette, but equally important.
Jacques was expected to present themselves or send a message via a proxy. They did not. We have a reason to believe something untoward may have happened to him.
I see. You're saying the leader of the Botticelli is AWOL. Hasn't shown up around at all?
Correct.
That's interesting, I suppose. Tell you what, that doesn't sound entirely correct. I mean, I've seen a few Botticelli. In the past couple of days, at the very least, you'd think one would mention if Jacques went missing. You think he just snubbed the prince?
I suppose that could be possible, but even among the Botticelli, I'm sure one does not reach power by doing things such as that.
I suppose, unless they're feeling big for their britches. Although we up here are a little bit less religious, I suppose. The Botticelli do have their weirdities. You suspect that by weirdities she probably just means Christianity as a whole. And she'll ponder and think for a bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't stop you going down there. I can't rightly recommend it. Most kindred who go down to meet the Botticelli in there come out different. I swear, there was one person who went down there. Nozzy, not much different from myself. Hated lights. I didn't see him again. I heard from them again. Didn't see them again.
Him, you say?
I said them. It was a lady. I didn't see them again, but yeah, no, I heard very much that they gave up on the whole having eyes thing and joined them. Didn't really think Kindred could do that, you know, just sort of change who they are. Botticelli don't play by the same rules. And even a casual glance would show that she's somewhat unnerved by this prospect.
To join a bloodline, you gain much, but also lose an equal amount.
Yeah, and I don't know what they gained for going blind, that's for sure. But whenever it was, a companion of mine was all too happy to ditch her eyes for whatever the hell it was that they were shilling. So, you know, be careful if you're going down there.
Very well.
If no one will stop her, she'll, like, step away from the car and the bikes and wave over her ghoul again. Oh, okay. It's not out of earshot. You can hear her ordering him to take you to, essentially, the entranceway to the sewers. He looks annoyed, but then is indicated to go anyway with a sharp smack on the ass.
Squint.
She'll give you a little finger wave.
Tim will give her a nod.
Cool. The ghoul will smile and go, well, apparently I'm taking you to the sewer door. I don't expect me to follow after you guys. I'm not one of the ones who go down there usually.
We don't expect you to.
That's very good news then. If you want to leave your cars here, no one will dare fuck with them. Well, and then he'll pause and glance at Gideon's little ride. And no, they won't mess with your bicycle either.
Oh, and when we are down there, how do they expect their attention to be drawn?
I don't rightly know. So I'm not one of the ones who usually go down there for anything like trade or talking. They're kind of creepy. I suspect if you go down there, they'll know. It's their place. I don't know if you've seen how big those sewers are down there. It's a huge fucking place. But they seem to know every inch of it. Go on, I'll take you there. And he'll rub his hands together and indicate, you know, out the cars, off the bikes.
Yeah.
You rolled last time to know of the Botticelli, and you knew of them, but the reality is there wasn't much to know.
I think I have the perfect way to get their attention when we're down there.
Oh, yeah?
Does anyone have anything metal on them?
Yes? Why?
Now this is kind of out of character at the moment, but sorry.
I have a gun and a sword. That's...
Do you have anything that I can kind of manhandle and bash about?
Look for a metal pipe.
Yeah, pretty much. If you get a metal pipe, just bang it against the wall because that echo, they will hear it.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's just make a cacophony.
Yeah, Claire can pull a tire iron out of the back of her car, and she will hand it off.
Claire, why don't you do it? You probably know Morse code, right? You can do Morse code. I mean, there's no way Gideon would know it.
Who is Morse, and why does he have a code?
See?
Claire does not want to be near the tire iron when it's being struck against things.
Tim? You know, Morse code? SOS, you know?
Nope.
I know how to do an SOS, but any complex message, no.
Well, teach Gideon to do the SOS, I suppose.
Do you even know Morse code? You probably know SOS. That's like the only Morse code people know. Indeed, I know
Everyone knows
it. Tap, tap,
SOS.
long, tap, tap, tap.
3 quick short taps, 3 long taps, 3 quick short taps. That's SOS.
Yep. I did the same thing, I think. But yeah, I know. I'm relieved to know that I know SOS still. I have a friend who did that with a flashlight while we were at the beach, and the Coast Guard turned up really pissed off at him.
Yeah, because that's kind of their thing.
Yeah. Someone did an SOS with their flashlight out over the ocean. The Coast Guard fucking turned up. But, like, we're all, like, junior school students. We're like, oh, we don't know what we did, sir.
Oh, that reminds me of the one time that we were in elementary school. We were on a field trip, and some little punk kid. This is back when. This is back when there was still payphones.
Yeah.
Some little punk kid decided to crank call 911, and a cop showed up.
Oh, delightful.
Who the fuck uses Morse code when you can send a text message?
That's very true.
You don't know their number, you dipshit.
Oh, your grandpa's a Morse tapper. Holy shit.
Yeah, before he joined the probation service, he did national service and he was Royal Signals in West Germany.
I'll be fucking damned. I think my gramps did signals. I mean, admittedly, like step gramps, but still.
So, getting back to the game.
Yeah.
My gramps drove trucks.
Yeah, you can pass on the knowledge of what SOS is to Gideon at the very least. Do you have a tire iron from Claire? Claire, if you want to know Morse code, then please give me an intelligence academic roll at -2, because you don't have a reason to know it naturally. Scritchy, scritchy, scritch. I'll be fucking damned. Okay, so yeah, you know, like, very rudimentary Morse codes. Most of them are how to answer emergency signals. And if you were presented with Morse code, if you spent, like, an hour doing the Morse alphabet, you could figure it out. But it's very hard to compose a sentence like that. You would know from quote unquote experience that trying to translate Morse code to someone is a lot of work because you'd have to be like short, 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 long, short, long, 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 short, short, long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, short. Like, you have to be doing that for a while, which is not fucking worth it. But you can pass an SOS just fine.
Getting back to it, I suppose when we get down to the Botticelli tunnels, just rather than should I actually try SOS or should I just start rhythmically banging on the wall until someone shows up?
How about you try the SOS first?
Well, you're saying
Nice.
that the ghoul will shrug. I mean, makes as much sense as anything. Eventually, you reach it looks like a secure doorway. You know, one of those sort of, I don't know. You know those doorways that look like they're kind of like fire doors, but they're very plasticky.
Yeah.
It's a very plasticky looking fire door, just like built into a brick wall to a one-floor building. The rest of the building appears to be some kind of 7-Eleven, but this like a doorway is distinctly different from the rest of that building. It looks like they're probably just attached at all. It's covered the fucking graffiti. But again, there are some graffiti is visibly obvious to be actually like just code signage. Although you don't understand any of the code in particular, you recognize evidence of the crones yet again, and you can also probably see written black marker in the top right corner as the phrase Botticelli. The ghoul will indicate the door, inform you that he doesn't have the key, but he's pretty sure it isn't going to stop any of you guys if you're determined.
I want to look at the other markers.
Sure. You want
I
to
go through
recommend some kind of roll for gang signs and shit?
Streetwise?
Give it a fucking go. You can
Roll
go with
blackness.
You can go with wits or intelligence streetwise.
Ooh, you know I got to go with my wits.
Yes, no doubt.
And it's a asset skill.
Cool.
Ah,
Fuck, close, so close. You threw 8 dice, got 4 and a 9A. A little bit below average, but pretty decent regardless.
actually, that's above average. It's 30% for any given die.
You're on 9A though.
Yeah.
So the percentage is amplified by another 15%, maybe? Like 20 possibly? No, not 20. It's probably 18% because it couldn't be 20 even though it's 2/3 because you're using lots of dice. So yeah, no, it's below average because it's a 9 again, but otherwise it's a good ass roll. Okay, some of the gang signs on this look like, you've seen them before, and you're fairly sure they belong to crews, as in crew with a capital K. One's belonging to them pesky ghost-talking folk. Although their language itself is indecipherable, you recognize their language and use.
Gotcha. So they're around here somewhere.
At the very least, a crew or crews are here. I mean, it's graffiti and it's been done in black marker, so fuck knows how old it is. It could have been 2 days ago, could have been fucking months, who knows. The rest is just meaningless gang signs.
Just
We go in.
file that away for later.
I bring out airsoft. I bring out some spray paint and start making my own.
All right, what do you
Okay,
tag?
did
What do you
just
tag
roll
the door
blackness
with?
Roll to just pull spray
You
paint
know,
out?
I forgot for a second I was making a black joke, and I was actually just making an artist joke.
Yeah, no, yeah. What do you want to tag the door with?
Fucking, I'm not actually gonna tag the door.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make the joke. I don't have spray paint on me.
Yeah, I was going to give you a point of willpower for that. Oh well.
So what? Just roll blackness for spray paint.
I mean, I figured he'd just pull out like a fucking Sharpie and just tag the door.
I mean, that's a lot more practical.
Well, I can tag the door at the bottom of my shoe.
Not quite the same thing, sadly. But yes, do you want to go in? It's locked, but like only to a rudimentary keep out the drunks degree.
I'll thump the lock real
Yeah.
quick.
You
Are
give
you
it the old,
Fonzie the lock?
you give it the Fonzie treatment, yeah, and it opens. Hey.
Oh yeah, I don't have to roll. Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna make you roll on stuff that's like rudimentarily simple.
You at the door
I got it
asks,
anyway.
"Do you have the drugs?" You say no. You are allowed in.
Yeah. You open the door and it smells like a sewer down there.
I mean, I guess what were we supposed to? I guess where else were we supposed to expect?
Mm-hmm. There's like a gentle breeze, like obviously it gets ventilation from sources elsewhere, like sewer grates, pipes, all that kind of thing. So opening a larger door has like shifted some air around, so to speak. It smells like a sewer. You'll need to make checks if you want to try and discern anything else by the sniffer. But it looks like a opening that leads to another door that leads to stairs down.
What kind of check to decipher anything else?
Your wits composure, which is the common roll for perception checks. Their closest equivalency, at least, to put it in D&D terms.
And is that an everything? Is that an everyone check?
If you would like to, you are welcome to.
What's composure?
Yep.
I will always with composure.
3, 2, 2, 1. 3. I'm waiting for like just another fucking crit success, and I just have to leverage more information again. I say like I'm reluctant, but I kind of enjoy it when someone goes for a crit success, and I get to be like, "Ooh, here's the thing I thought up. Enjoy it. It's juicy." No, okay. Looks like normal across the board. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. It isn't lit at all. Indeed, all the lights, like light sources you can see, there should be like little halogen things across the wall. They've all been smashed, totally destroyed on purpose. They aren't Invictus technically. The Botticelli sort of fall into their own little, like, we aren't anyone, because they're the Botticelli and they stay in the sewers. They're the sewers group, but as far as, like, if you wanted to put them on legal paper, it's probably Invictus.
They're the sewer boys.
They're the sewer boys.
At the end of the day, if someone had to write on paper, who'd
Yeah, they would write Invictus if they were given paperwork, but frankly, they would rather write sewers.
So they tend to go for the ruling body. So yeah.
Yeah. Invictus run the show, they pick the show. They would like to pick Ordo, but at the same time they have issues with the Ordo because they're not quite the same religious beliefs as the Botticelli, who are a little bit weird. The statement stands, of course, but I wanted to clarify that it's like there is a definitely weird situation. You wouldn't be able to, for instance, you wouldn't be able to leverage Invictus politics against them because they really wouldn't give a shit.
Moving on.
Yes, all the light sources in this on purpose smashed and destroyed.
Yeah, I'm activating my night sight so I can see perfectly, and if there's anyone invisible, ghostly, or anything like that, I can now see them.
Oh yeah. Speaking of ghosts, are there any
Now
ghosts?
there's a question. Ghosts in the sewers? You better fucking believe there are ghosts in the sewers.
The ghost of Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, sure. There are drowned people, maimed people, the dead and the sad, all empty eyes and misery. You could make them out in the darkness. You can't actually see the darkness itself because it's dark, but ghosts are their own ethereal, semi-glowing, semi-corporeal thing. So you can see ghosts, but not a whole load of background, which is probably quite disorienting to someone with no depth perception.
Yep.
But yeah, they're all just sort of aimlessly shambling or sitting in corners. A lot of them appear to be hobos. Timothy, you see much the same, but in a different measure. Like, you don't see ghosts like Rose sees ghosts. You see ghosts as, like, presences that exist, but not as physical forms. Not for particularly long unless you try and focus on them on purpose. You can, of course, see the surroundings perfectly, though, like, deep down into the depths.
Except color. I just see different shades of black. It's weird and hard to visualize. But
Very fair. You get it as black and not even grey, right?
Yeah, it's literally just different blacks.
Just imagine the ghetto.
Yep. Claire can just see in the dark.
Am I the only one who's bumbling without any sight here?
I mean, if anything, Rose has been made bumblier by her additional sight.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anything on Obfuscate that lets you see in the dark.
No,
Nope.
that would be your specs. You know, Rose is like actually worse than blind because there are like glowing-ish forms moving around in her, not able to see the background, no depth perception vision. It's actually quite hard for her to traverse in a straight line.
And I have no depth perception, so
Okay, you have a merit for it, right? Yeah, so are you going to create a light source, or are you going to pop your hands on the shoulders of people who can see and move forward?
I'm gonna suggest a fucking light source.
Yeah, I'm not going in blind. I need my eyes.
Alright. Timothy, before light is provided, do you want to do anything to take advantage of your perfect dark vision? As such as it is perfect in air quotes.
I mean, even when they add light, it'll still be perfect. It's just that when they add light, I won't be able to see the ghosts and spirits and invisible things.
Okay, before they add light, give me a wits composure, please, with a -2, because it's still not the clearest thing in the world.
Okay.
Okay. There is one spirit that, like, grabs your attention. I say spirit, not ghost. Like, has a different level of solidity compared to ghosts. It appears to be a spirit, and it is made of, like, lots of eyes. I mean, you can tell looking at them that they're eyes, but they're all closed, so they might not be eyes, but you're fairly sure just looking at them that they are.
Some spectre of observation haunts these tunnels.
Some specter of what?
Observation. I suppose
Like
spirit might be the better term.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do spirits.
You get fucking drunk, girl.
I do ghosts. There's a few of them around, but none of them look particularly bright-eyed.
Yeah, you see that. Are people adding light sources now?
Flip on a flashlight.
Sure thing. And suddenly you're faced with sewer tunnels. Like, it's a lot clearer here because it's an entryway as opposed to, you know, where actual sewerage starts joining up, but the smell ain't exactly anything to write home about. There is, as before, like, just graffiti and fucking nonsense all over the walls. No crew signs in here that you notice, Rose.
Okay.
What do you do?
Lead the way, Tim, or Gideon, or whoever.
I go down into the tunnels, I suppose. And this is all Botticelli territory, yeah?
Yes, technically, or so far as you know.
Timian. Sounds like some kind of new Eevee evolution.
Gidgethy?
Timian.
Timian's better than Gidgethy, but Gidgethy has got its own little weird charm.
It's always the dominant one in front, so it really would be Timian.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
Let's not go down that line of logic.
Let's not follow that hole down to Never Neverland.
Let's not have to declare ourselves gay.
I suppose I pull out the tire iron and.
I mean, we don't know necessarily what Timothy's sexuality is, but Bendy Dick Come and Snatch could be boy toy.
Tim is, at the very least, he has done lewd things with both genders when it suits him and gains him power. So
He's power sexual.
Mm-hmm. He likes a power top.
Oh, he's a sociopath.
That's exactly correct.
I suppose Gideon will just start tapping.
Sure, hard or gentle.
Whichever you like it.
This is a bloodline that has no eyes but has great hearing.
Yes.
Then it would be a gentle tap because they'd probably hear that.
Sure.
Hard tap would probably just piss them off.
Tonk.
Okay.
Tonk.
Initially, nothing comes to you as you enter into the sewers, although you're still at the very barest entrance of them. You have a source of light, and you are gently making sound. Is Rose still blushed, by the way?
In 24 hours.
Cool, okay. What do you do now?
I suppose we keep just going in.
Yeah.
If they have really good hearing, they should be able to start hearing us coming.
Alright then.
Gideon's not exactly trying to be subtle.
Start just whispering like, "Hey, we just want to talk. We don't mean any harm.
Alright.
Trying to locate a missing member of yours."
Tap.
Alright, so accompanied with this tapping comes the soft speech. And then you hear a splashing. This is a sound that you're familiar with. It is the sound of feet splashing in water. It is the sound of feet scraping on stone. It is the sound of flesh slapping against walls like open hands. It sounds like a lot of them. It sounds like a lot of them all at once. And it is at that point, my lovely dears, we're going to be calling the session to a close.
Ah, damn, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
As we're confronted face to face by a pack of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Why are we ending early?
For one, Stray still doesn't have audio. For two, I'm just sleepy. And it's over 2.5 hours.
Alright, I can accept this.
But
Yeah. I would love the idea of actually getting Gideon a weapon. But A, he would get even weirder looks if he was an old Italian man going around on a moped with a sword on his hip. And two, he'd be an old Italian man on a moped with a sword on his hip.
These are very fair points.
You just gotta carry knives. They're much more practical.
This is that is not my idea of a knife.
Well, this is a knife. Anyway, aspirations, my dears.
It's not a knife, that's a spoon.
Oh, so you've played Knife with Spoony before. Lily, you have helped him with his job. That'll get a plus.
Okay.
DCL, perform a job alongside Rose. You haven't really done a massive ad, so that's still the same plus. Likewise, complete a job without resorting to violence. No one has tested you on whether you resort to violence or not yet, so it's still just the same plus as before.
Yep.
Mers, you have research persistent shadows with a plus. Learn, resolve side job. Major progress has not yet been made, as in you have not uncovered a fresh step in this plan. You're just chasing up your original lead, so no pluses additioned to that one. Stray, upgrade Argus Manor, discover lore, obtain a ghoul, no pluses there. And Gideon, become ingratiated, get reacquainted, and assist Kotari, all still the same pluses as before, no progress. You all gain your 2 end of session beats. Well, I believe that's it. None of you rolled really ass, so I never got an occasion to give you dramatic fail beats. Guys, you've got to fail a little bit harder so you can get stronger, which sounds really weird out loud, but whatever.
I have 3 experience points.
I have 4.
Do I complete obtenebration?
What do you get?
Is that opposite?
I can cease being a physical being and become shadow. And if I get a dramatic success on that, I can appear as a physical being while being shadow and basically be invulnerable.
That's pretty fucking hardcore. What's like the cost to utilize that power?
Really fucking cheap.
This is just one Vitae
Like-
again.
Vitae, and then to emerge as a 3-dimensional shadow figure, a willpower.
Be fucking damned. That is an incredible power. I mean, if you make it to 5
Okay.
dots of obtenebration, you basically have, you know, the same obtenebration dots, at least, as the Elder that was teaching you shadow power. She maxed the... I mean, she has other disciplines, like max to very close to max, but I mean, her obtenebration is 5. You can't go higher.
Can you make use of hard shadows in that form? Because that is OP as shit if so.
I mean,
Can you be a
that's-
3D shadow that can actually hurt everybody and be invulnerable?
That's up to Scow. I assume I'll have to pick one or the other. So if I make like my sword arm solid, then other people can whack that.
Yes, there would be a trade-off implicit. Like, there would be some stuff you're capable of whilst retaining your invulnerability, but it would be a more limited subset of physical interactions. And then if you wanted to make a dramatic physical interaction, then it would at least put some part of you at some measure of risk, be it physical or mental. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, there's no reason for me to punish you for becoming a shadow if you're using shadow powers.
Mercy, what's your bloodline called again?
Kaibit.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Could you imagine a Kaibeat and a Star Owl going at it?
This isn't just like I become shadow in the material world. This is what it says. This state is not unlike that of a ghost anchored to the physical world, a state called Twilight. In fact, a character in Twilight can interact normally with other creatures in Twilight. I basically just get to go into the ghost realm.
So,
Oh my god, you would be 100% perfectly solid still to Rose, at least visually and audibly.
I could see you.
Like,
Oh my
you
God.
to others, you
I
would
wouldn't
become
be
an
able to
inky
interact
shape
with
on... you wouldn't, but to others, it's like you become an inky shadow on the wall. To Rose, she wouldn't notice a change, and like evidently, immediately, because she has no depth perception to know you became 2-dimensional.
So, if I put another dot into Carafor, I could just make us a portal into Twilight, so that we could all go in there. So if you ever went rogue, I could make us a portal in there, and we could hunt you down.
Fucking crazy.
Now I'm trying to figure out, wait, are we still streaming? No.
Yes, technically. I'm about to actually sign off. By the way, guys, since you've made it past midnight, we're now on to January the 2nd.
You mean the tooth, right?
No. We had the 1th, but now we're on to the 2nd. It's generally whatever I feel like at the time, but we're on the 2nd. January the 2nd sounds fun. If you're watching in the VOD or you're watching in the stream, I hope that you have yourselves a lovely motherfucking good time, and please do take care.
Like and subscribe.
Bye stream. Bye YouTube.
Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Get 1,000 likes.
And
Let me
watch the
smash.
rest of the series.
Let me smash.